going to do another wax melt video. I've got a couple new scents coming out, new releases for my range of fragrances. So I'm going to do 1 or 2 of those tonight and get those released probably tomorrow. But yes, I thought I'll show you just some finishing stages from ones I did in a previous video. I don't know whether you've seen that one, but I'll add the link in the description below. So that's a very good insight video for making the wax melts. I'll go through a bit of detail in that. This one's just going to be a shorter video. I think the other video was 35 minutes, longer than what I intended. But yes, I'm just going to add the stickers on to these ones. So obviously I put a cover sticker on, logo sticker, cover sticker, whatever you want to call it, and then obviously CLP labels. I put my CLP labels on when I'm packaging them, so then I don't have to have tons and tons and tons of CLP labels printed off and stuck on immediately. I just do those during the packaging stage. But yeah, so just try and put these on as central as possible. Put quite a few on now, so pretty much freehand it quite easily. So these are rhubarb and custard. But yeah, so I'm going to quickly label these ones up, and then I'm going to make another batch. Twilight Woods is the scent I'm going to be releasing, or going to be making now. So that's a new fragrance that I really like. Done a lot of testing with that in terms of percentage of the oil. The percentage that you use is very important. Finding the correct percentage for the oil is very important, I should say. I think I've got that down to the best percentage that I can work with that oil, and obviously the processes I do to make my wax melts in terms of, you know, temperature of wax, percentage of fragrance, the method, time of stirring, everything that goes involved has an effect on the finished product. I know a few people get a bit worried about frosting. So these have been sitting now for 24 hours, and I don't know how much detail you can see there, but there is no frosting on any of these so far. Doesn't mean frosting might not come in the future, but to help prevent that, just keep them out of the draft, keep them out of off of cold surfaces. Some people talk about putting them in the fridge, but well, in my opinion, that definitely doesn't help with frosting. It makes it worse. Depends on what wax you're using, so I'm not going to say it's bad, but yeah, I think if I was to do it with this wax, it would not do it any good. So I keep all of my labels in their own packets, so I know obviously which one to go through for what. My circle labels, my clamshell labels, my mini sample pot labels, and obviously my CLPs. I've got tons printed off, you can see that, but I put them on during the packaging stage personally. And then just the sample pot ones. So we're going to measure out again 500 grams of wax. Turn the scale on. So again, it's just a empty, clean one. I've cleaned it already, this one. So that's obviously at 0. I'm going to take the weight off, set the scales to 0, and then we're going to put that up to just over 500 grams to try and avoid the wastage that we had yesterday. So there's a little bit left, so if I had an extra 20 grams, that should fill our last sample pot up. So the wax I use for my wax melts is the Kirasoy Pillar Wax 4120. That's again what I'm going to be using now. That's the only wax I use for my wax melts. I use a different wax for my candles. I will show that. I'll do a candle video. Right, so 500 120 grams. I'm just going to scoop it into that. So I'm looking for 520. I'm a little bit off. Not far off though. So 526. $518, $519. There you go, 520. Let's get that bang even. So it's 520 grams of wax here, which should fill up our 8 50-gram pots and 5 full sample pots. And yeah, so I'm going to melt that down on the hob, and whilst that's melting down, I'm going to measure out the fragrance. So here's the fragrance I'm going to be using. It's Twilight Woods from Randall's Candles. It's a very woody fragrance. I quite like it personally. Haven't really got any woody fragrances in my line, so this is the reason why I chose it. I've tested quite a few different samples, but this is one of the woody ones that I like the most. The percentage that I've worked out to work the best with this and the way I make it with my wax is 9%. So I actually use 9% of fragrance to my wax. So my wax, as we've just measured out, is 520 grams, and we're going to put in 9% worth of oil. So I will show you on the calculator, just for the sake of it, how to work that out. So 520, alright, and we're going to times that by 9, and on mine I'm just going to push the percent. That gives us the figure of 46.8. Obviously that will be in grams, so that's how many grams I'm going to be using of this fragrance, which gives me 9% of 520 grams. Okay, so putting my container on the scale, set my scale down to 0, so that's taken off the weight of the container, and it's 46.8. So my units is in grams. This bit. So it's 46.8. I like to be very precise with my measurements, so then I can replicate it again and again. Right, so that's 46.85. That's good enough for me. So in this scent I am going to be using some dye. I'm going to do it a very light purpley colour. So I've got some liquid dye here, purple, and I'm only going to do 1 or 2 drops to dye this. I want it to be a very light colour. Okay, so I've got the melted wax now. I've got her out quickly now before it cools down too fast. Gonna get the liquid dye in. Just I'm gonna try 1 drop first. This is going to be my stirrer. I've got a long spoon. I'm going to show you the jugs I normally use. This is a very small one, so I don't normally use this one. So that's why this stirrer looks really big for this jug. But anyway, we're going to make do for now, and I'll show you the jugs I normally use after we finish with pouring this out. So I'm going to warm this up quickly so it doesn't cool down the wax. Again, I try and do everything to avoid frosting, and avoiding the wax cooling down too quickly is one of the things I believe that reduces frosting. I hardly get any frosting on my stuff. After we've made these, I'll show you some of the ones I've had made for a good few weeks, and you can see any at all frosting on those. But anyway, dealing with this for now. So we're just gonna put literally just 1 drop in there. So that there was only 1 drop. Let's see how that looks. You can see how with liquid dyes a little goes a very long way. I'm just going to check the temperature. Yep, so that is at the temperature, or just under really the temperature I need to Add the oil. Oil's gone in. Stir, stir, stir. That's the oil. Whilst I'm mixing that, I'm just going to warm up my dispenser. Again, I'm just heating this up so it doesn't shock the wax and cool it down too quickly. Only takes 20-30 seconds. That's warm enough. So let that drip off. Right, that's good. Let me pour that into there. See where that goes in. Right, so let's quickly organise this again. It's the thing when you're filming, you have to move stuff around. But yeah, anyway, right, we've got these all back into position. So we've got 8 of those and 5 of these. Okay. And I fill mine up to the brim. So if we've measured out correctly, we should fill this one up, and we should get a full one here as well. And look at that, perfect. So I'm going to leave these to cool off now. No need to move them, just going to leave them still. I will show you the jugs I normally use though, for my bigger batches. So this here's the jugs I normally use. These are 5-litre jugs, hard plastic, heat-proof plastic, because I heat them up with the heat gun before adding any wax to it. I've got 1 jug per scent that I've actually got, and I've got loads of spares. So yeah, I've got all my jugs are down there, well, down there and up on the side here. But yeah, 1 of these per scent. Reason for that is because it saves me washing them out. I use different colours for different waxes, so if I'm only having 1 jug, I'm forever cleaning it out, and well, that gets tiring. So yeah, so this is what I normally put them in. That's why with that big spoon, when I'm putting it in this and stirring around the fragrances, then it doesn't look so big. But yeah, handy little tip. If you can have 1 jug per scent, makes life a hell of a lot easier. Right, you can see this is now cooling down, and you can see that the colour is fading. So this is very normal for purple and black. The colour fades quite a bit. So if you want a darker, a richer purple or a richer black, then you've got to put more drops in if you're using the liquid, or more chips if you're using the chip dye. I use both types. I've got all sorts of colours, all sorts of chips. So in there, obviously, tons and tons of bags of different colour chips. Pretty much every colour you can get, really, and then a big mixture of the liquids. Purple can go back in there now. But yeah, so keep everything organised. Makes life a lot easier. So for the Kerastoi 4120 wax, the wax that I've used in these wax melts and all of my wax melts, I do sell that as a stock item on my website, Rustic Barn Candles, and you'll find that under the supplies section. But I had a couple of messages today asking me if I sell it in smaller quantities. So it comes in 5 kilo tubs, and do I sell it in smaller quantities than that? At the minute I can't get it in smaller quantities to actually sell. However, would people be interested? So as a question, just please write in the comments below, would you be interested in a smaller quantity of that wax chopped up, so I can chop it down into 1 kilo size, half a kilo size? Would people want smaller than half a kilo size if you want to, sample this wax? Let me know in the comments below if you would want a smaller size than 5 kilos, and if so, what size would that be? Obviously then I would have to cut that 5 kilo tubs down into yay size, whatever it might be, half a kilo, so that's 500 grams, exactly what I've used here, which is 520, but yeah, near enough. Or a kilo bag. Write in the comments, let me know, and I'll consider doing that as an item, a smaller sample wax size, let's call it. But yeah, that's great. So I think that pretty much wraps up this video now. These are obviously going to go into my stock items. So this is a new fragrance for me, Twilight Woods. I've only done a small batch now because this will be for my pictures that I'll take of this, and then it'll go up on the website probably tomorrow. But yeah, hopefully it's a good little bit of insight again today, and catch you in the next one. So in an upcoming video I am testing a new candle wax. It's a wax by Supplies for Candles, and they've brought out a it's a blend really, so it's a soy, 50% soy, 20% paraffin and 30% vegetable wax. It's their Parasoy is what they've called it, professional candle maker's wax is the name of it, what that they've given to it. How professional of a wax it is I do not know, but I am testing that now. I'll show you some of the samples I've made. So these are a couple samples, glasses I've made, if the camera's going to focus, just for me for testing. Ignore some of the wax driplets around the edge here. That's not any effect of the wax itself, it's just me when I was mixing it in. Little bit of frosting, but that's probably more my fault at the minute. So I'm not going to do a review of it just yet because I haven't fully tested it to see how it comes out. However, initial thoughts on the cold throw, it's really good. Cold throw is really good, really strong smell. That's also including, I have not capped my candles, so obviously fragrance is escaping. But yeah, cold throw is good. It's got a thumbs up for me so far. I'm going to go into detail in a detailed video on a review of that. However, that's coming up later on. So again, if you want to make sure you don't miss this future videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, then you'll be updated when new videos come out. Okay guys, yeah, thanks for watching, and catch you in the next one.